a golden stone made of fossilized tree sap. The Greeks called it electron, amber. And that stone is the beginning of a story. You can tell the entire history of electricity, from the first spark anyone ever noticed to the socket in your wall, using nothing but 5 words. 5 ordinary words you already know. And every single one of them is hiding a piece of how we did it. 5 words. Each one stranger than the last. Here is the whole story. It starts with that amber. Rub a piece of amber on wool and it crackles. It grabs dust. It lifts the hair on your arm. It sparks in the dark. The Greeks noticed this more than 2,000 years ago, and then did almost nothing with it for the next 2,000 years. It was a party trick. A curiosity. Then, around the year 1600, an English scientist named William Gilbert went looking for other materials that behaved the same way. He needed a word for that behavior. So he reached back to the Greek for amber, electron, and coined a new one, electricu, behaving the way amber behaves. That is all electricity meant. Not power. Not lightning. Just acting like amber. For 2,000 years, that was the whole science. We could make the spark. We just had no idea what it was. And you cannot study something you cannot describe. So the next step wasn't a machine. It was a name. The man who gave the spark a shape was Benjamin Franklin. Franklin decided electricity came in 2 kinds, a surplus and a shortage. He needed labels, so he borrowed 2 Latin words. For the shortage, he took negare, to deny, to say no, the side that had been denied. He called it negative. For the surplus, he took ponere, to place, to put down, the side where something extra had been placed. He called it positive. Denied and placed, minus and plus. Those are Franklin's words, and we still use them on every battery on Earth. But here is the twist that Franklin never knew. He guessed which side was which, and he guessed wrong. The negative terminal, the one he named denied, isn't short of anything. It is actually crowded with electrons. It has more, not less. We discovered the mistake more than a century later, and by then it was far too late to fix. The words had set. So the plus and minus on your phone charger are a 200-year-old guess, half of it backwards, frozen into the language forever. Franklin could name the 2 sides. What he couldn't do was hold onto them or send them anywhere. For that, we needed a road. The road was a wire. The word goes back through the Old English weir to a much older root that meant to turn, to twist, to weave. The same root buried inside winding and binding. Long before it was ever made of metal, to wire something was to twist it, like weaving a thread. And that is exactly what a wire still is. Take metal, pull it thin, twist it into a line you can bend, coil, and thread through the inside of a wall. We think of wire as modern, the stuff of circuits and cables, but the word is older than the science by 1,000 years. It never meant to carry power. It meant to twist into a thread. Electricity simply borrowed the thread and sent itself down it. Now the spark had a name, 2 poles, and a road to travel. It reached the edge of your house. It just needed a door. The door is a plug, and a plug is a bung. The word comes from an old Dutch word, plugger, a wooden peg. A stopper, the thing you hammered into a hole to seal it. A cork in a keg. A bung in a barrel. A peg jammed into a leak. For centuries, a plug's entire job was to block a hole by filling it. Then electricity arrived, carrying a brand new kind of hole, the socket. And what do you push into it to make the connection? A peg. A stopper. A plug. The word never changed at all. We just found a new hole worth filling. Every time you plug something in, you are corking a barrel, one that happens to run on lightning. So walk it back. A stone on a beach that sparked when you rubbed it. A man who named the two sides of that spark, and named one of them backwards, a thread of twisted metal to carry it, and a wooden bung to tap it into your home. Amber. Deny. Place. Twist. Bung. 5 words. And you just watched 2,500 years of history walk from an ancient Greek beach all the way to the wall behind your couch. Carried the entire distance by a language that never once stopped to explain itself. That is what a word is. A fossil. And the whole history of electricity was hiding inside 5 of them the entire time.